everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabella and it has been so long since we have last spoken to the camera or even done any sort of, long form content. So welcome back and happy October. Today we're going to be discussing my October goals as well as my writing routine that I'm kind of implementing for the last quarter of this year as well. And also kind of a few things I wanted to discuss because I know I kind of just randomly stopped filming, stopped posting everything when February and May hit and everything just kind of stopped. So we have to talk a little bit about what has been happening, and I promise it's all been good things, but it's just been a bit of a crazy chaotic time. So I haven't had much time to film, but it is finally the end of the year and this is usually the time where I start to get a bit less busy. But also I just really love being able to film and also participate in many different writing events during this time period. So let's talk about what I want to do in October and what kind of goals I have. I always have a few lifestyle goals, a lot of writing goals, and of course we have a few of the miscellaneous goals that are thrown in. But my first goal, and I guess this is going to be kind of a surprise because I haven't been talking to a camera at all, but I want to publish my second book of the year, which is also going to be the first book in the series. It's once again a poetry collection, but it's going to be called Once Upon a Broken Heart, and that is also going to be the series title. Now, this series is a standalone poetry collection series, meaning it's an interconnected series. You can read it separately or together and in order if you want. But this is going to be the first book and I'm so excited to say that it will be releasing on October 24th in 2025. Got the beta feedback back from everyone and I just have to edit all of that in, take into account any other revisions I want to make. Obviously go for a bunch of editing, so copy editing. Can you tell I've been in a whole different headspace this entire kind of hiatus? And also making sure the cover's done because everything has just felt so chaotic that nothing is prepared. And I'm kind of scared that I'm not going to make the deadline, but I am determined to. So there are going to be a ton of editing vlogs, I hope, coming your way because we're going to be basically working to the final point we can with this book. So we have to go through potentially more beta reading rounds, maybe a ton of editing rounds for all I know with revisions and rewrites. So there's a lot of things riding on this release that is literally going to be happening in a few days. I say a few days like it's going to be coming really quick because it will be. It's the 1st of October while I'm filming this. So it's actually crazy to me that at the end of this month roughly, we're going to have another book. Moving along with my writing goals, I felt like it was best to just get all of them done together. I also want to work on other projects. Now the first project I have is called Project String, which I did actually post a photo on my Instagram about it. And I kind of did that post-it note style where you kind of have a checklist. So Project String, I really just want to start brainstorming, getting all the titles and ideas flowing, and then hopefully we can get to the beta stage, which is basically after 3 rounds of revisions and rewrites from my end, just to get it to the best it can be, obviously, for my beta readers. So I want to try and get that done also in the month of October, although I don't really know how that's going to work, obviously, since we're going to be working really on perfecting Once Upon a Broken Heart. I also want to get started with book 2 of the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which is going to be called Once Upon a Broken Butterfly. I probably should not be revealing the title because nothing is set in stone, and I'm so excited for this book. It's been in my mind since June or maybe even April. I've had this idea for so long and I'm so happy that we're finally putting it into reality. So I really want to get the brainstorm done, the outline, basically just finalize all my notes because I know what I want to happen, but I just haven't got it in a concrete finalized version, and I want to write the first draft at the very least. And very similar to that, Project Card I'm thinking is going to be book 3, and essentially that's going to be an undecided title as of now, but I think for book 3 it's going to follow a very similar pattern to book 2. I want to just get the ideas done, I want to get them flowing, I want to get a draft 1 kind of semi-going so that when it comes to November I can just focus on editing and making sure these books are ready to go. So it's really just focusing on the series right now. I do have a few other books like Project String, of course, that I want to focus on that isn't series related, but I do really just feel like I'm living in the series world. I'm really inspired by the series, and I'm just so excited to share everything with you guys really soon. And I don't know if I'm prioritizing the right things right now, but I'm going by my own enjoyment, and that is what matters most when it comes to riding. We do have a few miscellaneous goals that I also want to try and accomplish in October. Now, back at the start of 2025, I want to do a monthly 10k run essentially, but that did not end up happening. So I've just been doing 10k runs whenever I can, and I'm kind of behind that goal a little bit, so I'm only up to my 7th one of the year. So what I would really love is to knock out another 2 10ks sometime in the month of October. I don't really have any particular goal, but I would love to just do 2 more 10ks so that I can kind of be up to par with my goal at the very least. We are also now in spring and we're heading into summer, so it is getting really hot, and it's not as favorable in terms of conditions when you're running very long kilometers. The weather's kind of like against me right now, but you know what, we're gonna get it done because it is important and it is something that I want to do. It's something I value doing, and I also have a lot of fun doing it. This is a very random goal, but I actually do participate through different volunteering companies, and I have been since the beginning of this year, and also prior years in other companies as well. Now, I have decided that I would like to start a new volunteering position, and that's going to be with another company, but I have been putting off my application because I've just been so busy with everything else that I haven't had the time to dedicate to it. So in October, I would really love to just finalize my application at the very least, so that I can get that sent in before the end of the year essentially, and I can start working at that company or volunteering with that company. I do want to do some reading this month. I have fallen off my goal of reading very much and really badly. I always said 100 books every year, and I have never actually hit said 100 books, and that's fine with me because growing up it was always kind of the goal. So it would be really cool one day to actually hit that, but for now I'm just happy to be reading at my own pace, enjoying the books I do pick up and the time I do have to read, especially with everything going on when it comes to uni, work, internships, etc. There is so much we have to talk about, honestly. But yeah, I'm just happy with where I'm at. So in the month of October, I would love to read 2 books, although I'm not really holding that as an arbitrary number. So if I don't hit it, I'll be fine. If I read only 1 book, I'll be fine. If I even read at all, I'll be even happier, because at this point, I don't know when I do actually remember the last time I picked the book up. That was literally not that long ago. It was like 2 weeks ago. But the point is, I would like to get back into a more consistent habit of reading, and that's kind of the reason why I did just say put down 2 books, because obviously I'm not aiming to finish books, I'm just aiming to build back that habit. I would like to post 3 videos a week on YouTube, so these are long form videos, and I don't really have a set schedule or like posting day, so it's really just like whenever I have videos ready, I want to post at least 3 videos in a week. So that's kind of the goal for October when it comes to long form. But for Instagram, I don't really have any particular posts I want to do, but obviously with the release coming up for Once Upon a Broken Heart, I do want to actually start prioritizing posting more on there, and I also want to try and aim for 1 short/reel or short form content on both of these platforms every week. Don't know how that's going to go. I'm not holding myself really much to that goal. I really want to focus more on the long form videos, but yeah, I feel like it would just be fun, especially when it comes to like promoting, thinking of new like tips and tricks, obviously, to build my marketing strategies and all of that. We always talk about my writing routine, I suppose, and essentially what I want to do is try and focus on at least 1 book 3 times a week. I did say I want to work on 4 projects, so at least focusing on 1 of those books 3 times, so whether that is Once Upon a Broken Heart and working on that 3 times and then once for Project String, for example, that would be perfect. And I want to spend at least 10 minutes with that book per time that I am actually working on it. So if I decide to work in the morning, then I want to spend 10 minutes at the very minimum in the morning working on that book, and then if I decide to do it again in the afternoon, another 10 minutes. And hopefully with those like pockets of moments in time, I will be able to actually focus on my goals and also manage to get through a lot of writing and editing. I want to either listen to a chapter or read 1 chapter. I'm not really fussy about either, but I want to actually get back into the habit of reading, whether that is listening to a story or reading it myself, because I have randomly been stuck in like this movie binge or TV show binge, and literally it has felt like it's consumed my life, because that's what I remember doing these days. But essentially those are my writing routines, habits, whatever you want to call them, and goals for the month. Now let's kind of do a quick little wrap up of what's been happening the last about, I guess, 9 months now. and why I kind of just stopped posting across all my social media platforms. So the last kind of, I guess, main video I posted was like a week in the life of me going to my innovation classes, and those were really fun. I really enjoyed it, but essentially what happened was I had that 3-week class and then I started my first semester right off the bat, and it was so long because it literally was my first semester combined with the assessment period of that innovation class. So it was like back to back. I was doing assessments, but I was also starting a whole new semester. So my uni schedule kind of collided and it was really exhausting to keep up. And during this same period, I was also working at 2 new companies, and it was kind of like hard to balance everything. So I was like, let's take a break when it comes to social media, writing and everything. So everything was on pause for my own business, and that was okay. During March, I also published this book called Like Me For Me, which I have never ever told you guys. I also have a release day vlog, but I never ended up posting it or editing it. It's literally just sitting on my SD card. So if you guys want to see that vlog, let me know. But essentially what ended up happening was I published that book, didn't really talk much about it, kind of just promoted it to my friends and family really, and that was really it when it comes to writing. And I haven't touched a book since then. Like, March was the last time I physically remember writing or editing anything, and then it was just focusing on uni. I'd have random like excursions, field trips, etc., and it was just like a whole chaotic experience. So I was never able to really do a weekly life vlog or like a daily vlog because I never knew what was going to happen unless I was at home, and that was really rare because during that time period I was working basically every single day, including the weekends. So it was chaotic to say the least. Now, fast forward to about May, I had started my teaching placement, and I did actually film a few vlogs, like a little writing series kind of thing that I was doing on my Instagram and also on my YouTube shorts called the 30-Day Writing Challenge and 30-Day Writing and Publishing Challenge. I ended up calling it quits on that because there was no way I was doing it. I actually ended up giving up halfway through after draft 1, and it was just really hard to just stay on top of, especially with like going on placement for teaching. So going on placement means you just go into school, you basically assume the role of a full-time teacher, and I was teaching like 7 classes a day and assisting with like so many different tasks. It was actually crazy. I had meetings, I was on playground duty, everything was going on. So the entire month of May and kind of early weeks of June, I was basically out of it from just doing a lot of work in an actual school and getting to experience the life of a full-time teacher. So that was kind of fun, but it definitely took away because I wasn't allowed to attend uni during that time, meaning I was doing online uni work as a full-time uni student, helping out as a full-time teacher, and not to mention I was still working at all my jobs, and that was still full-time work as well. And I also started a internship around this time too. So there was a lot going on, to say the least. I was basically so tired by the time I even got a break because all I wanted to do was sleep. I was still doing exercise, I was still eating healthily, I was doing anything I could to basically sustain my energy levels because right after placement, I still had exams during placement and afterwards. So literally getting off of placement, I went straight into my uni kind of schedule once again, finished off my exams, and then I had a 1-week break. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot when I say it's 1 week, and by 1 week I mean it was 5 days, but to me that felt like the longest time I literally had for myself this entire year. Now, I was still working mostly on the weekends, full-time hours, but at least I had the weekdays back to myself. And then we get to June and July, and that's when I start my next engineering kind of innovation classes. And what ended up happening here was I was only meant to take 1 class, but I ended up taking 2 classes instead. So I was going to uni 4 times a week, and I was still working 5 days a week, and that was still full-time. So it was chaos during those kind of 2 months, and once that finally ended, I had a 2-week break, and I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do at this point, and I was getting ready for semester 2. I was kind of just associating myself with life. During this time period, I was working on Once Upon a Broken Heart. Semester 2 starts around the end of July, and honestly, I don't mind it. I'm having a good time. We're not near the end. I'm like halfway in semester 2 right now, and it's like the 1st of October. And I have just kind of been in this loop of once again not having a consistent schedule, where I have some classes, I have no classes sometimes, and then I'm randomly in and out of the uni. So it's been really chaotic, but it has been so fun. I really love my subjects this semester. They are really mathematical once again, but I wouldn't trade them for the world. It has been so much fun to just experience the life of, like, I guess doing other things that I necessarily would not have chosen to do if this was not my degree, but it has been so enjoyable and I really have liked it. But I am kind of tired. I'll be honest. I almost did not want to kind of film again because I was like, why not just start again next year? But I miss filming so much. I forget how much it really just energizes me again, so I want to kind of get back into it, not only for my own mental health sake, but also because it's fun. It re-energizes me and it also fills my creative well in a different way, because right now I'm going to be writing a lot. So why not kind of also get back into the filming and like creative space digitally as well. Basically caught up to where we are now today on the 1st of October. But yeah, things have just been incredibly hectic with uni and work. And of course I have still been making time to hang out with my friends and socializing. So I'm obviously prioritizing my more personal life over my professional life and everything else. So it has just been such a crazy journey, but thank you so much for sticking with me. Thank you so much for still supporting me and my books. Check out Like Me For Me if you haven't already, which you probably have no idea that book even came out. But I am so excited to start a new series. I'm so excited to be releasing Once Upon a Broken Heart and also bringing you guys along for the journey. I didn't vlog anything when it came to doing draft 1 and draft 2 and working through the beta reading, but I will be having an editing diary series, so stay tuned for that. And have a wonderful rest of your day or night or afternoon or whenever you're watching this, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Until then, stay healthy, stay happy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!